Hello, everyone. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ron, aka Ron the Artist, coming to you live. And welcome to Ron's Recap. I'm here today to recap and review the TV show Snowfall, Season 5, Episode 1, titled Comets. Let's get into it, guys. I gotta be honest with you guys, this is my first time watching this show, the season premiere. This is my first time ever watching the show, and I wanted to come into it blind. So unlike I was going against the word of my friends, to review, past seasons, so what's going on in this season. And I'm just like, okay, let me go into it blind so I know what's what and I can see what's what. Okay, so I did that, and at first I gotta say that I was a little confused at first. I didn't know, quite who was doing what and who was who, but of course there's Google. I got to look up characters' names outside of the main character, Franklin. And with the help of people on my Twitter feed, they helped me dissect a little bit what was going on, but they also kind of drugged me you need to be going back to season 1. So, okay, after this live, at some point before next week's episode, I'm going to watch the past season so I can know who did what, how we got to where we are today. Okay, so let's get into the episode, you guys. After watching the episodes, episode 1 and 2, for the second time, it started to click. It started to click. Okay, so again, let's get into it. The episode started off with coke sniffing. I'm like, Snowfall it is. Episode started off with coke sniffing already. I guess Len Bias, dude, he was going hard on the coke, heavy, 3, 4, 5, snorts at a time, and causing an overdose, or a seizure or whatever, and ultimately ended up killing him. It was troubling. It was sad and troubling. I guess he was some type of famous basketball player. In real life, he was a famous basketball player. I don't know if necessarily that was the character, in real life, but in real life, that guy was, the character. You guys get what I'm saying. In real life, the guy did die over and over. I'm assuming over an overdose. Len Bias. And they depicted that on the show. Okay, so next up, Franklin is ready to get in deep with the cocaine, making negotiations with 15 mil deep. He puts in an offer to negotiate, and he makes a statement of nothing tears a family down or nothing tears a family apart like money. And that hit me. That hit me. That was I felt that, because that's real, you get to see the real in people when it comes to money. Family, friends, whoever. You get to see the real in people when it comes to that. And again, he's hitting hard, trying to get 9,000 for a kilo or whatever, 15 mil deep, within a short amount of time. So he all about his money. He all about, getting into this game, getting into it however he needs to get into it. So he made that case. Again, like I said, it was one of the realest statement. It was truth. I felt that. So the meeting was with Grady. The meeting was with Grady, by the way. It was with Grady. Grady, I guess his overseer or somebody who's managing the segment of the game or whatever. And Grady was for it. He just needed to, talk to the higher ups to see what was going on. Okay, so on to, Leon. Apparently one of Leon's workers was stealing from him, stealing money. And bad idea. Leon pulled up with the crew, his gang, and they Leon beat that man's foot in with a metal pipe. After making him take off the Jordans, making him stealing money to buy Jordans. I guess he couldn't afford to get him own self a pair of shoes. So he stole money to buy the Jordans. Then Leon made him take them off. His guards or his people held him down while he beat his foot in with a metal pipe. And oh my God, that was so brutal. It was so brutal. It was so brutal. I kind of low-key felt that. Low-key felt that. You know, I guess that was a lesson learned on his behalf. Right? I guess. Okay, next up, you know, at that moment, I was not quite sure what was up with Franklin's obsessions with airplanes. Like, I was like, is that an outlet for him? Like, what's going on? But push came to shove, it came out that he has a pilot license. He has a pilot license. And another sidebar, real estate. Real estate is being used for the cover up of their drug game, you know, selling homes and investing in properties, probably flipping all the drug money into that real estate game. So they're using that for a cover up of the drug game, and I find that to be interesting because I'm like, I wonder if that still happens in today. You know, I'm sure, definitely, I'm almost certain that people flip bad money or drug money to, good money in businesses. Hell, that's probably why some people get into the drug game so they can make that fast money to put into a business to make legitimate money. But this show was taking place in the 80s, so it was different. That was different. I'm moving on to Rob. Rob and his friend Thad. At this house party, Thad, ended up shooting and get possessive, went overboard, killing someone randomly because they took a sniff or, an unasked attempt or an unasked, sniff at their coke. And he was like, wait a minute, hold up. Who told you can do that? Who invited you over here? On top of him, interfering with the girls that he probably was trying to entertain, all of that, and really shot that boy dead. And just making the whole operation hot because Rob is a part of that operation, a part of Franklin's operation. And I just want to say that's when you know the addiction is bad, where I'm sure that's with any drug. You don't want nobody coming unannounced or unasked to just come out of nowhere and take a puff of your stuff or a hit of your stuff without asking, and you don't know them, and then they trying to get at the girls that you're talking to. I'm sure that that will be an issue with a lot of people, but at the same time, that's bad it's bad where you're doing coke and you're that defensive and aggressive about somebody else coming in and taking a sniff of it, and you end up killing them in regards to it. Territorial, and that goes to show the slightest thing could, set them off and pushing them over the edge. And we got to see that in tonight's episode. No bueno. So again, that's bringing heat onto Franklin's segment of the operation, and it was not cool. So push come to shove, Franklin sleeping with the boss of the real estate firm, and I guess they have a relationship outside of that. A lot is going on already. And again, this is the first episode I came in, and I'm just like, wait a minute, what is going on? My head is spinning. I'm trying to keep up with that moment, and continue to write my notes. And I'm like, what? What? So, yeah. On to Teddy. Teddy showing up. Teddy was anxious to get back in this game. He'd have made his way from Germany to DC, anxious to get back into this game. And I guess apparently last season he got booted out or, got exposed, or his spot got blew up about his position in the game. So he's making his way back from DC, and he shows up, at Grady's home, disguised as the water and power guy, to inspect the home and the party that took place. Probably because it was hot due to the stuff that happened the previous night where Rob and his situation. A lot. If that was the same party, actually. I'm not even sure if that was the same party. Where Rob and that shooting situation, was that the same party that Was that the same party that Grady had going on at his house? Maybe, maybe not. But regardless of the matter is, a killing took place and it was not good. Okay, Franklin and Peaches, once they got word of what was going on, they made a visit to Rob to investigate the killing matter that happened on his dime. Not good, not good, not good. They got to Rob's spot and saw those girls that they were with, and Thad is MIA, and everybody's high and coked out, and just bad. Clear up the energy, clear up the energy, clear up the energy now. Okay, so in the midst of that, the cops are on a hunt and investigating the drug and the killing matters, finding drugs. Franklin, I wasn't quite sure of that, of that moment, I guess, of what was going on with the cop. Like, whose house was they at when they had all those people outside and the mom came up? And I guess, again, maybe I need to watch something else. I watched the episode twice and I still wasn't sure, like, who that was about, or was that just a random drug bust that the cops were invading? Okay, so next up, Franklin took, Rob back to Franklin's mother's house. And, to get him out of the way and to get down to the bottom of Rob's friend and ask how much he knew about the operation and what he told him. Once Rob told him that he knew something, he fell to waves because the guy is MIA. He don't know the guy, and that's unpredictable. That's a loose end. And Franklin clearly was disappointed in that. At least Rob was honest with him. So Franklin ended up linking up with his team to discuss the moves that needed to be made going forth, and along with getting Rob out of the game. So Franklin was plotting. Because there was a lot going on. This is something that could potentially take take the game down or take that operation down. So Franklin is really feeling like he needed to tie up loose ends. And then another sidebar, to find out that he was only 24 years old and already has this much knowledge. He's in real estate, got his hand heavy in the real estate, got this much money, investing, on top of the drug game, and big with numbers and just dealing with a lot. And that is a lot. That's very much experience, a lot of experience for somebody in the drug game. 24 years old. And he's doing it intelligently too. Like, he's not your average street person, a street guy, somebody that's on a corner selling rocks or, some marijuana or whatever. He, real deal, is a mastermind he's the mastermind behind a real deal drug game. At least an extension of it, and he is running it successfully. Or at least so he thinks. Okay, so back to Rob, back at Franklin's mother's house, struggling with the withdrawals. He wants more drugs, but he ain't going nowhere, and they gonna keep him there, and as they should. Next up, Bo, the dirty cop who did that drug bust. The dirty cop is at the bar with a dilemma with Aunt Louie. He needs someone to come forth or of the sort about drugs to get his bosses, other cops, off his back. So that he can continue protecting her, as he put it. If you want me to continue protecting you and your business, you need to protect me and mine. It's like by having somebody come forth. Aunt Louie was like, I am not for it. I'm not a snitch. And she was like, I'm not saying you got to be a snitch. I'm just saying that, well, Bo said, I'm not saying you got to be a snitch, but I'm just saying that you got to scratch my back for me to scratch yours. I need some type of something coming forth so I can get these folks off my back. And I'm assuming she was down for it because she needs the protection, her operation. So what has to be done, has to be done. Back to Franklin and Rob. Apparently Rob was trying to get away. He thought nobody was in the house. He was about to escape out of the house. He heard from Dad, apparently, and had a location on him. Franklin wasn't for it. Franklin had coffee ready for the both of them, ready to talk. And Franklin was like, nah, if you're going to go out there, we're going to all go out there together. Franklin convinced him to take them with him, along with making him a promise to get him clean after the fact. So off they went to go see Dad, strapped up, ready to tie up the loose end, for sure. Okay, so they got to the spot Dad was crashing at. Apparently it was a family friend's spot that nobody was at, and no one knew he was there. Guns were drawn for a second, but Rob de-escalated the situation, and Franklin convinced Dad to, take them inside as he pretended to, attempt to get Dad away from that madness. Dad then revealed more info that he shouldn't have known, that Rob had told him about their business. About, get me out of here, and maybe you can get one of your DEA peoples to make it look like I have a new passport, or give me a new passport. He instantly looked at Rob, and Rob knew what time it was. Like, Rob, you really told him that? Like, what? So Rob knew what time it was. So he shot at that. He knew he had to clean it up. He shot at that, shooting him here, missing the first shot, actually. Shot him here, and then ended up killing him. So off they went to bury the body. And they had to dig a grave. Rob wanted to enjoy his last night high before rehab, so he thought. As Rob saw Haley's comment, Franklin shot him in the back of the head, killing him. Franklin, felt like that was the loose end, like he was telling too much, and he was high, and probably would eventually threaten him on matters and, blackmail him. There's no telling. I don't agree with that decision, but I do think that might have been probably the best decision in Franklin's position, because Rob was showing weakness. By, telling them other folks about the operation, and then Rob is also high. Rob is also strung out. And that's a problem. That is a problem. There's no telling how that could go in the future, so Franklin ended up killing him. Meanwhile, Franklin ended up back home with his girlfriend, or boss, whatever you want to call her. She reveals that she's pregnant, and she wants Franklin to retire out of the drug game, because it's not the life she wants for that child to be born in. As he makes that promise to her that he won't bring that baby in their life and that he will retire, it wasn't very convincing, at least not to me. I think he would like to retire, but he doesn't see a way out now or anytime soon. And that's a problem. I don't think he has the intention of retiring, even though, there might be a part of him that wants to. So only time will tell with that. And I'm anxious to see what's going to happen next with that. Pregnant. And it's crazy because Franklin is literally about to bring a life into the world. Meanwhile, there's so much death surrounding him. And it's not okay. And Franklin needs to separate the two, like, sooner than later. The girlfriend / boss said she wanted that to be done, like, prior to the baby being born, or, like, it can't happen after the baby's being born, but he probably should start working on that, like, ASAP. But again, I don't see any signs of that. And I don't think he necessarily does either, even though he may want that or is saying that. So we're going to see what happens. Okay, so on to episode 2. Episode 2, season 5, titled Commitment. I was happy that they did that like that too. When they did a season premiere and did 2 episodes, so we get a 2 for 1, and I'm like, yay! All right, so the episode started off with more negotiations and possible allies. Reed, aka Teddy, is back. Ready to get back to the game. Ready to get back to the game. Apparently 6 months prior, he was in Germany making deals and still being up to no good. 5 months prior, he was plotting and planning to make his way back to LA from DC to get back to business, and he did just that. You know, he was booted out. Actually, I think I talked about that a little bit in episode 1, my recap, and that was inaccurate because that didn't happen until, episode 2, where Reed came back, or Teddy came back, and, I guess last season he got booted out. He got booted out, or his spot was blew up, and yeah. He's back, ready to go, ready to get back to action. Yeah, that was Reed, Teddy, not Grady, if I said that. Sorry, guys. Don't kill me. So yeah, he's ready to get back to business. And he did just that. He went to LA to get details of the operation in and out and saw flaws and went back to report, back to DC, and not good. Meanwhile, Franklin is back exploring the airplane, this time with Grady, as they discuss business and personal affairs. It's definitely, that airplane situation is definitely an outlet for Franklin. He probably should gravitate more toward that than the drug game, because that's not going to turn out well for him. He know it, and everybody else know it, especially with a baby on the way. Okay, so more deals and negotiations amongst the crew members. Real estate invest in big numbers between him, Aunt Louie, his baby moms, and Aunt Louie's husband or whatever, Jerome, and a lot. So yeah, in the midst of that convo, he had to inform the people about Rob being out. Sentimental moment. Honestly, again, I feel like he shouldn't have done that. I do understand it, but I don't think that was probably the best route to go. He did what he did, though. Louie and Jerome came to their realization about their weight in the game and having admiration for it after, they picked up some, some weapons, and the guy that sold them to him, like, you guys are Bonnie and Clyde. And I'm not talking about death-wise. You guys couple. You guys are Bonnie and Clyde. You guys are running the damn thing, and it looks nice on y'all. They were admiring in that. At least Louie was. Jerome was too. Okay, on to Teddy making his way to Gustavo about getting back into business with him. Like, Teddy is already coming back in and shaking stuff up, and just ready to beat this character that he wasn't before, and he's not playing games this time around. So I can't wait to see how this character develops more. Next up, I'm not quite sure how to feel or what to expect from that phone convo Franklin initiated with his mom. They got disconnected somehow, and I wonder if it was intentional after he told his mom about to have a baby, that he's expecting a baby, and I don't know what that was about. Like, that was a moment where I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Are we going to see more of that this season with the mom, the relationship? Maybe she'll come back into the season if she was there before, or what? Like, I don't know. So I would like to see a follow-up from that. Next up, Franklin and Leon. They met to discuss and catch up about Rob and his baby, etc. And I can tell Leon also, wants Franklin to retire because he has Franklin has a life to live for him. And once he told Leon about, him expecting now, he gave him this look like, bro, you probably need to let go. Let go and let God. Just bow on out. But he didn't say it. It was just like he happy for him. Somebody needs to tell Franklin to get out of the game. You are 24 years old. You have so much life ahead of you. And you have a life literally that you're living for. Get out of the game. Next up, Teddy made a visit to Grady to inform him that his contract is up at the end of the episode. His contract is up and to leave the house by the next day. He didn't agree with it, so he insulted Teddy about his family, etc. Bad move. Teddy waited in the man's house and poisoned him right before he thought he was about to go to bed, and actually got put to rest. That was crazy. He really plotted on that man. He acted like he left his house and never left the house. Came back in that man's room as he drunk water or whatever he poisoned him with and watched him die. It's like, you're bad for business. This isn't because you insulted me, but you're bad for business and you're getting in the way. So afterwards, Teddy made a visit to Franklin, starting off friendly, but it turned out to be a warning against him for mixing business with pleasure and telling him to knock it off and to clean up his act, referring to his business relationship with the mother of his child. But of course, Teddy doesn't know that that's the mother of his child. He taught him no more slip-ups or foul plays to be allowed. And again, I guess Teddy is the man in charge, at least of that stem. And he's not playing any games. He's not playing any games, and Franklin doesn't know what to do with it either. Franklin doesn't know what to do with it or what to expect, but he was ready for whatever because he ended up offering that man a cigar from a box that also had a pistol underneath the cigars. He was ready for business. So, yeah, like, all I know is stuff was about to get real. Stuff was about to get real. The episode ended at that point where Teddy made his point, taught him to clean up his act. You're wrong for mixing business with pleasure. Even though no one else told you that, I'm telling you that. And Franklin better get his act together. I don't know how or what he's going to do with the child of his mother, or the mother of his child, but get it together sooner than later. Franklin, oh my God, this show is already like got my head spinning because I'm thinking about the possibilities of what could happen. Like, Franklin clearly has got himself in a mess by mixing business with pleasure, and not only with drugs, with the real estate, because they have both relationships on both end and personal with each other. Teddy figured it out quick, and not good. And I wonder how Franklin is going to get himself out of that. So we shall see. We shall see, guys. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Episode 3 next week. Stay tuned for my recap for that. So far, I'm in tune with this episode, and I will get back to, I will watch the previous episodes, the previous seasons I have to, so I can know how we got to this point. So far, it's a good show. Very graphic, very raw, and in your face with everything, literally. So again, that's all I got for you guys this week. It's your boy Ron, aka Ron the Artist. And if you're watching this with me right now on Instagram, we are live. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, it is not live. This has been taken from Instagram and uploaded there. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, like, share, comment. Let me know about this recap review. Let me know how you felt about it. Let me know, your thoughts about the episode. Let's talk and chat. Let's talk. If you're watching this on Instagram, let's talk and chat. Comment, like, share. Let's comment. Let's talk about the episode. Follow me on Instagram at rta.tv, or follow me on YouTube, or subscribe to my YouTube channel at Ron the Artist. You can find me at Ron the Artist on Instagram. You find me at Ron the Artist on YouTube, and my main Instagram page, Ron the Artist on Instagram. Until next week, guys. Peace.